My dear, why aren't you vegan yet?
Um, I think, well, personally, like I like meat. I'm a bit lazy, and also most of the meals I eat, it's either my family or friends cooking for me, and I just eat what they cook.
Okay, so your first reason was because you like meat.
Yeah.
Now, dear, I would like you to know I didn't go vegan because I don't like the taste of meat. Veganism, it's not a diet, it's an ethical decision. Veganism is actually a justice movement to liberate
Hmm.
non-human animals. Now, like, I'm wondering, do you think that personal pleasure is a good justification for an action that has an unconsenting victim?
No.
Okay, so we can agree on that. I think most people can agree on that, right? So this is just a matter of like aligning your morals and what you believe in with your actions. Now, I understand that you live with your family right now and you mostly just eat what other people are cooking for you.
Hmm.
Um, like, I'm sure you have plenty of vegan food in your pantry and fridge already, like beans, rice, grains, legumes, pasta, potatoes, fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds. There's hundreds of thousands of edible plant foods. And, like you could make it work. What really, once you fully understand, like, the why with veganism, why it's so important, the how, it just becomes easy and it comes naturally. Me personally, I went vegan when I was 15 and I was living with my family, of course. I was living with
Hmm.
people that were in my taking care of me. And but I still was able to do it. And I think most people are able to. And you could just, do the best that you can and like avoid animal products like however you can. But really once you learn about like the animal agriculture, it becomes like really a lot easier to do it.
I
Um,
have a question. Are you vegan? Like, I know that one thing, I don't have a source to back this up, but I'm pretty sure that like eating meat, like because of how we source it, it's really bad for the environment. So some people go vegan for the environment, or like, are you for the animals, for the environment, for both?
yeah, well, it's true that plant-based diets have amazing benefits for the environment. Like, for example, a plant-based diet uses 75% less land, 65% less water, and has like 65% lower carbon footprint and uses like exponentially less energy. But veganism is still like a justice movement for the animals.
Hmm.
It's a liberation movement for the animals. So I would still be vegan even if it was bad for the environment. Because my reason for being vegan is because there's no consent involved in animal products. The animals don't consent to being exploited and enslaved and killed. Um, and just like babies, non-human animals are unable to give us informed consent. So there's never any consent involved in animal products. And if you think about it, like milk, cows don't make milk because they're cows. Mothers make milk to breastfeed their babies. And if you think
Hmm.
about like unconsensually milking somebody, milking is molesting if it's not consensual, and like the cows, they have to be pregnant to make milk. So the standard practice in the animal industry is to literally force them to be pregnant. They jack off the bull, collect his semen, and force it inside of the cow, forcing her to be pregnant. And then when she has her baby, you know what they do? They take the baby away because the baby wants to breastfeed from her mother. And that's just not profitable to the dairy industry. So they take the baby away from the mother, and this is like the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life because the baby and the mother, they cry for each other for days. If you can hear me, if the baby is a boy, he's going to be killed because he's not profitable to the dairy industry. He's killed for like veal meat. And if the baby is a girl, she's going to grow up to be a dairy cow and be sexually abused, just like her mother. So it's a really horrible industry. And like eggs too, if you think about it, like when we see like a bird with a nest outside, we think, oh, like that's so beautiful. Like it's spring, the bird has her eggs. That's
Hmm.
wonderful. And we never want to touch it, we never want to interact with it. But when we see a chicken laying eggs, we've been conditioned to think that's mine, I take it. But the egg really isn't ours, it's the chicken's.
Hmm.
Just like how my period, my ovulation cycle, my eggs, they're mine. They're not anybody else's to take. You know?
So it's like the unnatural killing. Like
Well,
like in my head it's like we don't need to eat meat anymore. Like a long time ago we that's what we did, but now we've kind of moved past that and we're able to like more easily source plenty of other options. Um but like there are still animals that like kill and eat other animals.
right. There's other animals that kill and eat other animals, yes, but we're moral agents. We have the ability to make decisions based on whether it's right or wrong.
Hmm.
The other animals don't. Like other animals, like in nature, these animals that kill other animals, I don't think that's moral, but I just don't get my morals from them.
Yeah.
They also they also will rape each other. They also will kill and eat their own babies. Um, we're just we live in a society and we have the ability to make decisions based on the morality of them. So I think we ought to.
Mm. Okay, well that's all I had, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey. And look, my dear, you sound like a really smart girl. I would highly recommend you check out some of the YouTube videos I have up on the screen. If
Okay.
you want, you can screenshot the lives. The first one is a documentary about the standard practices in the animal industries. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of difficult to watch because it's very eye-opening. But I think it's important to see. I think the least we could do for these animals is to see them. The second video on the screen is a lot easier and it kind of goes through all of the ethical principles of veganism.
Mhm.
And you sound like a really intelligent girl and I think that you could gain a lot from it. So I'd help anybody transition to a plant-based diet. So if you decide that that's what you want to do, you can go to challenge22.com, click sign up, and they should reach out to you by like the next day. And
Mhm.
there's like registered dietitians on the team, people that are experienced with plant-based diets on the team. It's a great resource.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll definitely check those out.
Thank you, Casey. And you're welcome to come back in here anytime if you have ever have any questions or anything you'd like to discuss.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
A great rest of your night, Casey.
You too.
Nice guest.